following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
Maybe we can still heal you. Why? So you can just lock me up? No. Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships. Because they knew death was better than bondage.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding. The shadows betray you because they belong to me.
In the hell do you think you are?
Okay, it's not working out. I'm gonna need the suit back.
For how long?
Forever. Yeah, let's
No, please.
Let's have it.
You don't understand. This is all I have. I'm nothing without this suit.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
So Oz, this week we are having a special crossover collision. Make sure I get that right. Esque Battleground / Open Mic episode with a very special guest, Mr. JVD from the Crossover Collision podcast.
Yes, sir.
And so, Oz, let me ask you. I've been talking about this show for a while. What are your thoughts? And are you nervous going up against a veteran of the battles?
No, because as the nervous young warrior said to the general upon facing the troops and this insurmountable enemy, he said, "What do you do in the face of fear?" And the general looked the young soldier who was nervous, shaking, quivering in his boots. And the general who stood fast said, "You look fear in the eye and you say no."
Oh my gosh!
So I'm prepared for this battle. Now listen, knowing that the stakes are high and who we are battling against, I look forward to this battle. And JVD, I look forward to having you on this show. I apologize for regular Scott, but yeah.
Hey, like I said, man, you're the brains. I've got you back.
That's the first shot of the night. Early in the game.
So the collision might be JVD and Oz versus regular Scott. So
I welcome this, dude. I welcome it.
Is this already a bad idea?
No. This is a great idea. This is a fantastic idea.
I think this is the best idea that we've had on the show in a long time.
Because, you guys talk about these battlegrounds you guys got going on with the Defy Life, and you've been busting Oz hard.
Oh, my JVD. Dude, literally, my one job for our podcast is to be very still and be this dude's punching bag.
I can tell.
Yeah, and so regular Scott, I want you to understand something. This, not a civilian, this veteran, this soldier has just acknowledged what's going on here. Okay.
All right, fair enough. So, JVD, let's get to the meat at hand.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your podcast and a little bit about what you guys do on your show.
All right, so our podcast is called Crossover Collision. We've been doing this since about August of 2017. Started off real slow, and back on the I used to do the Marvel chat boards a lot on Marvel.com, and everybody was talking about these verses all the time. And then as friends, me and Evan the Great and his brother and some other guys, sitting around drinking beer, whatever, we'd start arguing, well, who's going to win between Batman and the Punisher? Who's going to win between Deathstroke and Deadpool? And then one day, me and Evan had already had the Villains Man going on. We've been doing comic book reviews on YouTube, and he said, hey, man, why don't we just put this on audio and let people listen? Because, if we're going to do it anyways and argue, let's just try to make something of it. And it just kind of took off from there, and we try to differentiate ourselves from everybody because everybody's like, well, you got Deathstroke and then you've got Punisher. Well, obviously, when you look at them and you know what they're capable of, you're like, of course, Deathstroke's going to stomp him. But when you start breaking down what everybody's capable of and then you throw them in a battlegrounds matter because if you read comics, no one fights in an open area, right?
Right.
There's always people around. We talk about, Times Square. You look at Spider-Man, Spider-Man's always fighting around Queens, Brooklyn. There's people everywhere. That plays a huge factor in a fight. So, if he's up against Deathstroke might realize, hey, this guy's more involved in saving people than he is.
Oh, so
stopping.
smart.
So, that really plays a factor, and then it will, will Deathstroke pick up on his spider sense where he learned to time his shots or get a better lead on him, instead of just straight up fighting. And so, we try to discuss that and see how I guess it would be based on how the artist interprets a fight with the writer in a comic. And we try to put that in perspective as we talk about the Battlegrounds.
I love it. It's so much more
totally
sophisticated than what we do.
Dude, listen, JVD, what you just said is like literally compared to what we do is, it's comparing Jupiter to one of its moons. That's awesome.
Well, it just takes things to a different level. It's kind of what it does. Okay, you can argue me until you're blue in the face. Well, like I said, will Batman beat Punisher? Well, it depends on what's going on, where the fight takes place, what's around them, because battlegrounds matter. Environments play a lot.
Right.
You were just talking about a veteran and, the young troop. If you're looking across at the enemy, the young troop's like, man, what are we going to do? His probably first instinct is to go straight forward. The veteran's like, oh, no, you're going to flank to the left and we're going to move very little to the front and then come hit him from the side. So, it's all about tactics.
I will say in a very tactical way, it reminds me of the terrible yet very relevant joke of the old bull and the young bull. Who were looking down the hill at a bunch of female cows.
Here we go.
Well, I'm just saying, and the young bull was just like, hey, old bull, let's run down the hill and let's have sex with one of them cows. And the old bull looked at the young bull and said, let's walk down the hill and we could probably have sex with all of them. So, okay.
Are you serious? What was that?
I take back everything I said about you being brave.
Thank you. What was that?
Well, it's about tactics and about so there you go.
So that's the story you used to say it's about tactics.
I'm sorry.
Man, I'm definitely putting that down as the next episode. I'm just throwing it.
So, while we're talking about how battlegrounds are important and settings and whatnot, I think a perfect example of that, JVD, is, and this is a little bit of a spoiler alert for the big crossover or the big collision that happened in 2019 with Predator. I think a lot of his battles, a lot that helped him as far as the ones that y'all ended up rolling was a lot of the scenarios in different places played a factor into his battlegrounds.
Oh yeah, completely. And it's a lot of that tournament when we started was completely random. And a lot of people was like, well, he picked opponents that lacked a range, but that's the thing where battlegrounds matter. For instance, he fought Wolverine and he fought those two guys are, very tactical. But, when you look at someone else that has better equipment and can get you from a range for instance, like in an open area, such like an alleyway. We talked about an alleyway, I do believe, with Wolverine and Predator. Your Predator has to he can just sit and blast Wolverine all day. He has to take that damage, and eventually it's going to slow him down. He's not this killing machine that can just take punishment after punishment. Eventually it wears on him, and people don't seem to factor that in a fight. They just think that, oh, he's going to take a shot from Galactus and then go smoke a cigar and a beer on the Hulk. No, it don't work like that.
Exactly. It's like Wolverine will go berserker on you if he's close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another example of that is I love what you guys did with Shredder and a lot of the Street Fighter characters as well, because a guy like Guile is someone who you all are very high on, and me personally, especially before I listened to you guys kind of break it down, I didn't think Guile really had a chance against anybody.
Yeah, and that's the thing. One of the things we really want to do at the show is to hopefully get people to invest in characters that they're not used to. For instance, like Guile. There's a lot of people out there that just play Street Fighter the video game, and they want to base Guile based on what they see in a game. And we just strictly do comics, and Guile's quite the badass. In a video game, most of your people's like, I just have to straight come forward to this person and attack them. Written in a comic book, he's not like that. And, we try to play that up to his advantage when we discuss our fights. And, Guile was kind of like the big dark horse of our entire tournament. And, we really try to go in the depth in the characters and do a lot of research because, let's be honest, not everybody reads every character.
Right.
And we really try to put effort into figuring out the characters so we can, make it seem as close as possible so you can't say, oh, well, you're making that up. And I'd be like, no, it's right here in the book. It's just probably something you've never read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it. But look, before we get too deep into things, allow me to set the table. This is Take a Knee for Marvel vs. DC. I am your host, Regular Scott. I am joined by my co-host, the comic connoisseur, the mighty Ozzy Killmonger. Oz, what's going on?
What is up, good people?
We are also joined from the Crossover Collision podcast, JVD. Please plug your Twitter, your show, anything you want.
I'm JVD. I'm part of the Villians Demand network. It's kind of what we've been the last couple of years. You can follow me on Twitter at Villians Demand. You can go like our page on Facebook. You can find our podcast on every platform, especially big ones like iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. Unfortunately, my comrade in arms, Evan the Great, can't be here today. Evan, I know you're going to listen to this, man. You can beat this. You had a great 2019. This is not going to stop you in 2020.
Absolutely. Shout out to Evan,
that is awesome.
Evan as well. And you can also follow us on Twitter at knee4Marvel vs. DC. That's the number 4. You can also email us at knee4Marvel vs. DC at godefylife.com. We're always looking for feedback. Our latest episode, we were talking about conspiracy theories. Let us know what you thought about that. Let us know what you think about this battleground. We got some Twitter polls we're going to go over, and we are going to do a battleground. I'm really excited to have JVD and Oz on a, crossover collision themselves.
Sounds good to me.
Pun intended. 100% that was intended. Now, the reason I keep saying crossover collision so emphatically is because I was getting the name wrong when I was bragging about this show the past few weeks, and I want to make sure I engrave that in my brain.
Yeah,
hey,
totally.
No, seriously, you had it right in the beginning.
And I think Oz must have threw me off.
Wait.
Yeah, you hear the stuff I have to deal with weekly when him talking about cows going to have sex with other bulls and cows and
Dude,
stuff.
that is one of the oldest jokes. That joke was on Happy Days.
Then it needed to stay there.
Oh, that was mean.
Yeah, you
That's
got it.
Franz.
I'm just saying.
Dude.
I'm just saying.
Whatever, man.
So, JVD, let me ask you a question. Would you mind participating with Oz in a little bit of some training ground?
Yeah, man. I kind of try to guess those myself when you guys do them, and
Awesome.
And I do tend to get more of them right than he does. So,
Man, but look, JVD, you will admit that some of the questions are just very bullshitty.
Oh yeah. I got that. Your previous episode, like he couldn't guess the first ones, which I got, but then he did the ones that shows his era. So I got his back on that.
Thank you.
Dude,
Thank you very
JVD
much.
just called you old.
Yeah, well, and guess what? Only young people get offended by being called old. Old people are just like, or unless you're an old person trying to wear skinny jeans. Dude, I've earned the scars. I'm happy to be called old.
Aged like a fine wine, right?
Oh man, aged like a fine port. You know what I'm saying? Like
sex with cows.
I'm just saying, you want to walk down the hill. You know, you never want to run down the hill and get all exhausted. You want to just take your time, dude. Take your time.
Okay. So since we got two contestants, we're gonna do this like a real battleground. I'll choose two categories. One will be females in movies and female-led movies. Okay, we have questions 1 through 5, and then the other one will just be movies 1 through 5. Sound good?
Oh,
sure.
I'm excited.
JVD, which would you like and what point value?
Give me movies and let's start in the middle.
Yeah, see.
Movies for 3. This comedic actor took a serious turn in 2014's Foxcatcher, playing John DuPont.
Oh man, I don't watch a lot of newer movies. So he's a comedian?
Yes, he's a comedic actor.
Foxcatcher. That sounds familiar. I'm going to have to pass.
Okay. Oz, to you for 2.
It's Steve. Carnell, whatever. He's the 40-year-old virgin guy.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'm getting straight up props on that because he's a 40-year-old virgin. He was an anchor. He was a corresponding anchor on the Daily Show. I'll give you his social security number if I don't get his name, but I'm going to get credit for that.
Yeah, it's Steve Carell, right?
Steve Carell is correct.
Yeah,
Thank
from
you.
The Office.
So I won't give you 2 points since you didn't get his last name, but I'll give you 1. You can take it or leave it. You can take it or leave it.
That's saying a word, dude.
Okay.
That's saying a word.
Just take it, man.
Just
Take it.
take
It'll
your
give you the
points.
win.
Just take your point.
JVD, every episode, I just take it. Okay?
All right,
Yeah,
Oz,
I get it, man.
where are you going? Females or are we sticking in movies?
Dude, let's do the females for 4.
Okay. Females for 4. In what movie did Gloria Hendry become the first black Bond girl? I'm sorry, first romantically involved black Bond girl.
Wait, that's her character name? Or actress name?
That's her actress name.
That's her actress name. Oh, man. Oh, okay, so I'm going to have to say, what is that thing? It was the Casino Royale?
That is incorrect.
Oh, shoot.
JVD for 3.
Octopussy.
That is incorrect. It is Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. But see, there was a Halle Berry in one too, right?
But this was way before Halle Berry.
I know. It's okay. All right.
Yeah,
That
this
was
is like 60s and 70s.
yeah, no, it was good. It was good. It was good.
All right.
That was the
JVD, back to you.
Let's go to movies for 2.
Okay, movies for 2.
I'm making an ass out of myself.
No, not as much as I am. So you're
Oz
fine.
is rubbing off on me.
Shots fired. I like that. In the movie Speed.
Why you gotta like that?
The movie Speed, the bus must stay above what speed to not detonate the bomb?
Isn't it 60?
That is incorrect.
Oz
for 1.
It needs to stay under 35.
Above 50.
Above 50.
Right.
Dang.
35.
Well, I said 60.
Yeah, at least, 35.
I knew it was up there.
Nah, JVD, listen, you got it wrong. We're moving on. It's fine.
Okay.
We both did.
Who's going?
Hey, there's a new sheriff in town. No more missed ones for me.
Who's it on? Is it on? It's on Oz.
Hey, let's give it to the guest. Let's give it to the guest, though.
No, it's Oz, man. It's
Yeah,
your
it's
turn.
on you, Oz.
Okay.
What you got?
All right. Let's do the ladies for 2.
Okay, ladies for 2. Millie Bobby Brown plays what character with psychic powers in Stranger Things?
I got this, Oz. You better get the answer.
I know it's but see, I have
9,
two choices of the numbers,
8.
and it's going to be 11.
11 is correct.
Yes, I was going to say 13. So close.
I would have accepted 11 or L.
Okay, that's fine. You'll accept my right answer. So let's move on, there, Junior.
Okay, go ahead. Still on you.
Feeling good. Let's do ladies for one, just to keep it strong.
What actress played the role of the bride in Kill Bill?
Uma Thurman, and then let's do ladies for 5.
All right, now you're feeling yourself. I hope you get this one wrong.
Hey, JVD, that's awesome for a co-host, right?
Yeah, feeling the brotherly love, man.
Yeah, well, see, so what regular Scott says is that I break you down to build you back up.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the training ground. This is what he
Hey,
needs.
when are you going to flip the training grounds on regular Scott?
Well, it's coming to JVD because I'm going to let him know that tough love is still love. So it's going to be fine.
Oh, man. This former pro tennis player was the first to play Wonder Woman in 1974 before Linda Carter.
Kathy Lee Rigsby.
Kathy Lee. Oh, nope. That is incorrect. JVD for 4.
Oh, man. Man, I didn't know, honestly, somebody was there before Linda Carter.
Oz, you were very close.
I know. Oh, that bums me out.
What you got for me, Jay?
I got nothing, man. Good.
The correct answer is Kathy Lee. Go ahead, Oz.
It's
Crosby.
God, you see, dude, yeah, that's terrible.
You do have to get it all, though. Like you can't just say
no. That's totally. I get that one for being wrong, but you know, hey, by the way, a little thing is that Wonder Woman movie is actually on DC Universe right now.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Nice plug.
Yeah,
JVD, where are we going?
We're going movies for one. I need some points.
Tom Cruise.
Man, I feel like all these other episodes, that I'm like, man, I've got these, and then I'm on the show, and you're just like, man, I'm just gonna stick it to them.
Hey, JVD, welcome to my world.
I feel you. I take back every bad thing I said about you so far.
Don't worry. There's plenty of time to have plenty more bad things to say about me before the episode's over. It's fine.
All right, here we go. Tom Cruise rebooted this film in 2005 based off the 1897 H.G. Wells novel.
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds is correct. We are on the board.
Yeah, true indeed.
Let's just move on up to number 2.
You already did 2 and 3 are gone. You got 4 and 5 in movies and 3 for the ladies.
You gotta go hard, dude.
I'm gonna go hard. I'm going for the buzzer beater. Give me 5 on movies.
Oh yes. Wow. Okay. In Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo sets off from Riverdale with 8 companions. Who are they?
Let's see. Oh, this is my jam. Okay, so you got Frodo, you've got Gandalf, you've got Sam, you've got Gimli, Legolas. Yep. Oh man,
keep it going, man. Keep it going.
I know I'm brain dead. I want to say it's Aragorn. I know that's wrong.
That is correct.
Oh, is that Sean Bean's character? And that didn't sound right.
You said Aragon, right?
No, Aragorn.
Oh, that's right.
No, we're gonna give him that. We're gonna give him that.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
No, it's Aragorn because because it sounds like Aragon, like the kids' dragon movie from a couple of years ago. Man, the other 2 halflings, or hobbits, I should say. Oh man, I'm going brain dead on them.
You got 3 left.
Weren't their names like the names of like wood? Or no.
No, there were nothing like that.
It's something simple though.
Yeah,
Oz, do you know before I go to you? Do I need to waste 10 seconds on you?
Yeah, because they're the one that led the trees.
Okay, so hold on. JVD, do you know the other 3 before I go to Oz?
I won't get him.
Peregrine Took. Boromir, that's who I'm thinking of with the horn.
Boromir is correct.
What is
that's impressive.
Peregrine took second. What's his brother's name?
2 more.
Man, I thought I was on. Sorry, I had more than that.
Because you said Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, Gandalf, Gimli, and Sam.
That's amazing.
You got 2 more.
I'm gonna have to let Oz finish it up.
Oz, you got 2 more.
Man, I can't. Man, oh my God, JVD, that's amazing.
There's such a huge cast there, and then they get split up, and they're everywhere.
Crazy,
Yeah, but when you hear the last 2, you're going to be like, I should have known those 2.
Wait, did you say Gandalf?
Yep.
Okay. What the fuck?
Okay, the last.
Wait. Legolas.
He already said that. The last 2
I'm out.
are Merry and Pippin.
Merry and Pippin.
That's who I'm trying to think.
See,
Yeah.
the 2 that led the trees to do the thing.
Yeah, you were right. You just didn't say that. But you were right,
dude. Yo, man, JVD, that was great.
That was very impressive that you got 6 of them though.
Do I get 6 points at least out of 8?
I give you 2 out of 5.
Hey, I'll take that.
So I have to say something that's like I don't normally want to criticize a guest because it's we don't do that. But JVD, I have to just say it. After you answering that question, you have kind of made Regular Scott legit in his questions. Like I feel like those are really okay questions that he's asking now.
Well, in that you could get really tongue-tied with that. So many characters. I feel bad on myself because I'm a huge D&D player, and I should have known all those. So that was. I would have to say, sir, that was pretty amazing. Thank you.
Oz, we got 2 questions left. You can go with movies for 4 or the ladies for 3.
Let's do movies for 4 because the ladies are coming back for 3 when I get this.
Confident. This actor from The Office was originally up for the role of Captain America in the MCU before they chose Chris Evans.
The director, the writer of A Quiet Place, that dude.
Okay, that doesn't tell me anything. You have to give me a name.
Man, dude, I
10,
want to play. I want to
9,
play one game
8,
where we can do
7, 6, where you can just be like that guy from that movie.
And people know. Yeah, we know what you mean.
5, 4.
Oh my
3,
God, dude.
2,
Josh.
1. JVD for 3.
God, it's so easy. Go get him, Jay. Yeah, get him.
That's the thing. I've never really watched The Office, so
no, but it's
I know the name you're talking about.
Oh my God, dude, he's so good because he's going to be up for. I think he's up for Reed Richards too.
Yeah,
he's fan casted as he'd be a good Reed Richards, but he's fan casted as Reed Richards.
Oh, well, for me, yeah. So sorry, it's what's that?
JVD,
John.
Do you not know before he answers?
Krasinski.
It's
Krasinski.
John
Krasinski.
Yeah, Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
God damn, dude, that's bad. Hey, but so here, can we just pause for a second? Do you think that he could have made a good Captain America?
Yes.
I can't see it.
I think he would. I think he would have made a good Captain America.
He's also Jack Ryan too, right?
Yeah, he's Jack Ryan too. But I think part of the problem is Chris Evans embodies that role so much now. It's hard to see somebody else in the role.
And can we give a little? Can we just give a little? And I think people have a lot of mixed opinions. I want to give my personal opinion because I always do.
Always.
Man, look, Chris Evans, that dude went from being the Human Torch and being in to me, one of the greatest movies ever made, Push.
Stop it.
To being Captain America, dude, he's awesome. He is. That's a testament to his acting ability.
Absolutely, but let's get a couple things straight. Push is not one of the greatest movies ever made.
I saw Push on sci-fi.
I know
and
you're
watched
so
it with
high on
commercials.
it, man. You're so high on it.
Regular Scott and JVD, please forgive me for this. Regular Scott, this is not on some polar bullshit. Push
No, I've seen it. I've
great.
seen it. I've seen the movie. It's good.
Push is great. Push is an awesome movie. Push would have been a better series too. Push should have been a series.
Now listen. I do think that could be rebooted as a series.
Totally, dude.
JVD,
Totally.
what are your thoughts on Push?
Nah. I got to side with you, Scott.
There we go.
I do. I'm sorry. I literally, and I own Push too, by the way. When I see Pushes, I'm like, need to watch it.
We're talking about Chris Evans' career. You're talking about Push and Fantastic Four. I'm talking about his goofy role in what was that? Not Another Teen Movie. And now look at him.
Oh, I know, dude. He's been pretty prolific, man.
A dude's got heart of gold too.
And let's not discredit Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is probably one of his best movies.
Oh,
I still haven't seen that. It's getting a show.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hey, JVD, you need to see the movie before the show comes out because it's pretty legit. It's good. It's a good ride. It's a very
my
good
buddy
ride.
Sanders, he says it's great. And man, I just don't if I don't watch something when it comes out, I'm very terrible about not watching it.
So JVD, there's one question left. You are down 3-4. You get this question, you win the training grounds.
Which is probably it's like sure.
It's a 3, so let's see what happens. What 3 actresses have played the role of Catwoman in live action movies?
Okay. We're not counting the new one, right?
What do you mean the new one?
Oh, the new Batman. We're not counting.
Oh, no, not the one that has not come out yet. No.
Okay, so we got Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry.
Yep.
And now I've got to jump all the way back to the 60s. Oh, what is her name? It is like ingrained right there. And then this is obviously Oz's era, so you probably know it.
You're missing a pretty big one, though.
Really? Michelle Pfeiffer, Halle Berry. And you said 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Catwoman movie, Batman Returns. Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway is correct.
I don't consider that Catwoman.
Wait, in the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Dark Knight Returns.
Okay,
Dark Knight Returns.
because I know we weren't going to talk about the series because that's an easy one. So
see, I keep forgetting that she's Catwoman because man, that's not Catwoman to me.
No,
Michelle
I know.
Is Catwoman.
Eartha Kitt, Julie Newmar. Those are Catwoman to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I completely forgot that Anne Hathaway was even Catwoman. That's how forgettable that movie is.
Well, yeah, because Alfred is like in Paris and is sipping on some latte and looks over and says, "Okay, they're happy together." I'm like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And so here's my thing for you all. When Alfred looks over to Bruce Wayne and Selena and just doesn't say a word, it says, "You're happy, you're in Paris doing this." That's why Ruby Rose took over Gotham, because that's when Bruce Wayne abandoned Gotham. They should start playing that movie off of Batwoman, directly off of that.
You know what, Oz? That's
pretty. I would take that.
Yeah, that's not the worst idea you've ever come up with.
Uncle Oz gives away at least 500,000.
Yeah, I definitely think you've given away at least half of a season of that.
Well, think about it. That's the easiest way to explain why, like this, the person whose name embodies Gotham left Gotham. That's the only way you can explain it. That's the only way.
Let me ask you this question while we're piggybacking off of that. What happens to Robin after he finds the Batcave?
Dude, so
because he's gonna die like his first week out.
Yeah, so he kills himself spelunking with like the grappling hook or something.
Right.
Hey, can I JVD, Regular Scott, can I entertain you guys with this thought?
Okay, here we go. As long as it doesn't have to do with cows and having sex with bulls.
Hey, walk down that hill. So look, the Robin cat, he gets access to the Batcave. Who's to say that he's not so traumatized and remembers how all the police officers were put underground and hidden. That he doesn't say this is Bruce Wayne's gift to the Gotham police force and gives everybody access to all that shit.
Oh no, I don't think he'll do. I don't think he does that.
But because here, my thing is this: if he does not do that, he is dead. He's dead.
JVD, how long do you see
skills.
Robin lasting in this world?
Based on that movie, not that long.
And JVD, Scarecrow is still out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, and well, technically, so is the Joker. So, I mean, he's not going to last long. I mean, isn't that the Batman thing? You know, I take someone underneath my wing, train them to the best of my capability, and then they kick ass on their own.
Dude, this dude said, "Yo, I'm in Paris sipping on a latte
I'm out.
with Selena. I am out, son."
He didn't even show him how to put the suit on.
Regular Scott, he literally gave this dude the keys to a car and said, "Figure out how to drive."
No. He didn't even give him the keys. He had to go find the keys. He gave him a puzzle to get the keys.
And you saw, like I saw, that dude was at least 3 inches shorter. So he was like, "You'll grow into the suit. Don't worry about it." Yeah, I was like, "What the?" So yeah, that was deep, dude. It was very deep.
Oh man, I think JVD. I think what you said. It is a good movie, but it can be very forgettable.
And can I bring up one more crazy thing to all this?
You're going to.
So he has. So yeah, why you?
Oh man.
So look, so he gave him the keys to the Batcave. Did he say, "Don't go up the steps and open up the clock because that's my house," or did he just say, "You can have everything"?
That's a legit question. Yeah, that's actually a legit question.
No,
you know what? It's always the times I try to play you that you actually have a legit question.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk or the funny guy, but did he just like? Are there like deadbolts up top that says you can't come up here? You know, I'm just like, what is going on, dude?
Surely he's got it all. I mean,
you'd have to.
It makes sense. Yeah, he would have to.
Hey, Robin, you can have the Batcave and the house. Do not take the picture down of Thomas and Martha. That's the only thing I'm telling you right now, dude.
Oh, all right, that was good. Let's get into a couple news tidbits, and then we're going to jump right into our battleground.
Okay.
If that's okay with you, Oz and JVD.
Let's go.
All right, couple quick news tidbits. And by the way, I just want to point out, Oz, you are officially 0 for 1 in 2020 so far in the training grounds.
I think that is definitely a good way to break someone down. When are you going to build me back up?
So I'm 1-0. I just come steal the show, right?
Oh my God, dude! Man,
regular partner later on. Just
I will say this:
we got our own HBK here, show stealer.
Oh no, it's very cool. But I will just say this,
and it is WrestleMania season, so.
Oh, hey, look, JVD, don't start talking wrestling with eyes. He'll zone out and he'll start freaking out.
It'll be bulls and cows, man.
Right. Definitely check out the Pro Wrestling Showdown with myself and JD. Cheap plug.
Did someone say time for me to take a nap? Okay, cool, got it.
Exactly. All right. Let's get into some news. Let's talk about some of the big news that came out. The Joker won at the Golden Globes. Joaquin Phoenix took home Best Actor, and they've also been nominated for not only Best Actor but Best Picture at the Oscars.
Jesus.
JVD, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on the Joker, Joaquin's performance, and is this a big moment for not only comic book movies but DC and specifically?
It's rightfully deserved. I'm a Marvel guy, and I'll just openly admit that. But Joker was better than anything Marvel put out this year. I mean, it's. And the thing is, like you brought up, I don't see it as a comic book movie though. I mean, I feel like it's just entitled. And I think that's because for during its production and whatnot, they were trying to keep it away from everything, and so that's just kind of how I took it. But the win is right. He deserves that, and he even deserves it. And what is it? Did you say the Oscars?
Yes.
Right. Yes, yeah, he deserves that too. Best picture, man, I don't see why I wouldn't win it. To be honest, I mean it is great. Like DC needs to take a. It's kind of weird because everything they try to do is so dark and gritty, but then when they give it to a character that needs it and deserves it, it works out perfectly fine.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they should hit Oz up. I mean, obviously, he's got a great idea with, Dark Knight Rises, the Batwoman. So,
well, and then can we and I also while we're on this thing, and man, JVD, that's so brilliant, and you're right, man. They made that shitty ass Jonah Hex movie when they could have made a crazy gritty Jonah Hex movie.
yes, I mean a character that needs it.
Dude, exactly what you said. The ones that need it, they don't do it, and the ones that don't need it, they're like, nah, we're gonna do it. So,
now the big thing is, does the movie need a sequel? There's them rumors out there, and I don't think it does.
That's a tough one because you can go about it, you can kind of give his rise through up the ranks and kind of taking over, or even just being this symbol of chaos. You know what I mean? Or, on the other hand, to what JVD is saying, maybe some movies are better left alone. And maybe you just set another movie in the universe without it being a sequel to it.
Here would be my thing. Like this movie is superb. It's great. Yeah. And I would be afraid that they would literally try to swing it around into the DCU, like the movies, and it would ruin it. Well, that's my big fear there.
Well, I have a crazy idea that could possibly work for this. So you do this. You do two things. Either you let it be a standalone and say, we're not doing a sequel. This is gold. This is what it needs to be. And let it be like a timeless piece, like it can be. Or you do a crazy marketing thing, which will be like kind of cool, and make two more movies, which will show the two other aspects of the Joker, since the Joker is three people.
That's what I was about to get at.
Get him, JVD. Get him. Because you do that. It's a marketing scheme for DC and Warner Brothers. But if you have the script right, you could make a killing on that, man. And you can entertain everybody's flavor on stuff too.
And the thing is, that Three Jokers book ever since Dark Side War, everybody's been waiting on that, and they keep pushing it back. And just with what you said, you have the prime opportunity to bring that screen before it's ruined in a comic book for everybody. Man. You're like, whoa. Because, I remember reading that book, and then, because, he was on the Mobius chair. And
wasn't that awesome?
And then he's like, who's the Joker? And then his eyes got big. But here's my thing about the Joker, and I've already said this, is the thing that makes the Joker such a great character is Batman's the world's greatest detective, and he can't figure out who he is.
He has no clue.
Everything else. So why do we, as an audience, want to know the truth about the Joker?
Yeah, right. I know. And sometimes a mystery is good. I like in the comic where I think it was at I forget the title of the arc, but basically Batman was talking to the family and was just going, I think the Joker got into the Batcave, and they're like, what the, how could he survive? Like that, like underwater and all this stuff. And he's like, don't worry. I don't think he knows who we are and stuff, but the Joker's the whole thing. He's just like, I love the game,
Yeah. That's at the end of
I love the game.
Redid the Death of the Family for the New 52.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like wanting to know who Bruce is, and Batman's like, "Do you really want to do this? It's going to kill everything you stand for." And he does. He jumps off the cliff, and they think he's gone, and then he shows up like, what is that? An Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wrote that? Snyder.
Yeah, Scott Snyder, right?
Oh man, it's awesome.
Dude, it's great, but still, it's just a testament to but so I think if they wanted to, again, if Warner Brothers and DC wanted to get some loot, if you have a well done script, they could do something that would like satisfy everybody's appetite. But like you said, JVD, that's the whole part of who the Joker is. And I you know what? I never even thought about that really until you said it. Like the world's greatest detective is still going, who the fuck is this dude?
I mean, yeah. Think about it. Like in Final Crisis, he takes the bullet that kills Orion, finds out what it is, repieces it to kill Darkseid, but yet he can't find out who a homicidal clown is. I mean,
and then look, dude, he's there. He's so frustrated. He taunts the Joker by going to Arkham Asylum as Bruce Wayne and being like, "Do you know who I am?" And Joker's like, "I don't care. Who? Wait, what? I don't care." He was like, "You're not messing my game up. I don't care who you are. I like the Batman."
Yeah, and we're on a tangent. And I'm going to bring this back around to The Dark Knight Rises. We was talking about, basically Nightwing down there in the bottom. Bring this back to the New 52. Maybe this entire time at the end of that movie, maybe he was trained by the Court of Owls to infiltrate Bruce. And now he's got it, and he's had a change of heart, and now he's going to take the fight to the Court of Owls. Because now Batman there's no Batman in Gotham, and maybe the court sees it's time to take over. You could carry on that movie that way.
Yeah.
Because Court of Owls needs to be a movie.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Now, here's the thing. If you're going to do Court of Owls, because I said this about the animated movie when they did it too, you need to do it right. It needs to be about Dick Grayson. If you're going to do the Court of Owls, let's do it right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It doesn't need to be something that's done in a movie. It needs to be something that's told over a couple of movies. Right. So the last movie in a trilogy is the Court of Owls thing.
You know what? I'd like to see the Court. You know what? Speaking of the Court of Owls, Oz, this might make. I don't know what you would think about this. I'd like to see the Court of Owls in Titan season 3.
So why wouldn't that be a problem? You would kind of resolve Dick Grayson's conflict that he's been having for all the seasons in Titan. His conflict with himself, and you would also give way to see why Bruce Wayne's been kind of distant and all this stuff. Dude, hey, regular Scott gives away $10,000.
And look, here's see if I can get an extra 5,000 right here. I'm also introducing Tim Drake to take over.
Now, so what's going on with Jason?
Well, as we saw at the end of season 2, Jason's doing his own renegade thing. I think he will, in some form, become a version of the Red Hood. Right. Bruce has got to fill his void and train somebody.
True.
And you know what? He won't take over. Starfire will take over. Will be the leader. But I think Tim will kind of fill that Jason Nightwing void that'll not be there. That detective void.
Yeah.
So that would be a cool little thing. Well, I like the Court of Owls idea. I think that is something that needs to get adapted in some form. Did anyone see the Morbius trailer? I know you did, JVD.
Yes.
What are our thoughts on the Morbius trailer and the big Michael Keaton Vulture cameo at the end?
Well, are we also having any sort of big thing about Jared Leto flipping the DC universe to go into Marvel?
I don't think he had a choice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a big deal anyway.
It's kind of interesting to me,
I mean, he's not the first to do it.
Well, I know, but I'm always the thing that's always interested me is how a lot of how actors can get their second chance in a different And so it was okay, it didn't work well here, so let's try here.
Look at Shazam. That guy was one of Thor's people. And
he's one of the first 3. He was Fandral.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well then I'm just saying, in your third, I guess your third chance is they're just hey, we're making a dark horse movie. Good luck. So.
Yeah, but the difference between them is he could squeeze back in as Fandral. It's hardly noticed, but Jared Leto stepping back in as the Joker is how much aid as that character got from people, and that would never happen. I mean, look, he's not been in Birds of Prey.
That we know of.
That we know of. That is a good point. I still won't go watch it opening weekend.
I see. I'm excited about the movie. I think it looks over the. If they do it I think they're going to do it, it looks like it's just going to be an over the top, silly, fun movie. It knows what type of movie it is.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Scott Pilgrim in a way.
That's a good comparison. Yeah, exactly. And Scott Pilgrim knew what type of movie it was.
So the one thing that did get me a little excited is when you see the black mask put on the skull. I was really worried about that. And I thought, oh, man, they're actually going to do that instead of just – because I feel that actors these days have a thing where like, no, you always have to have my face on camera. But he looks like he's going to wear it quite often, and I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah, that looked good. I really enjoyed the canary cry. I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks full on, you know. And I know it's still early and we haven't seen anything, but I'm going to tell you what, if Cassandra Cain is not some killer, like if she doesn't turn out to be, I mean, I'm talking just unstoppable, then I'm going to be a little pissed off.
Yeah, she's not running around like she's Hit Girl.
Like that's how she needs to be. She needs to just be running through people. And if she's like the damsel in distress, I'm gonna be really disappointed. I mean, this is her first on-screen appearance. Let's do her some justice.
Yeah, and I think you're getting that with a lot of people if you think about it for a movie. I mean, outside Harley Quinn, I don't think any of these guys have ever been in a big movie. It's all been on like CW and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. That's a really good point. So I guess we'll back to the Morbius as far as the Michael Keaton trailer. How much do you think this is going to connect? What part do you think he's going to play a part? Do you think this is going to be the start of like a Sinister Six type thing? Where could this lead with that particular character showing up, saying, you know, I see you're not being a good guy anymore. So clearly, to me, it sounds like he knows he's who he is and what he can do.
Well, if you think about it, for one, he's broken out of prisons at some time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, and we know it's after Far From Home because there's the mural of Spider-Man with Murderer on there.
So
I'm very curious how he's going to see that.
Yeah, speaking of that, maybe he didn't break out. Maybe since Spider-Man is this murderer, everybody that Spider-Man put away ends up getting freed.
That's a very solid point.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be a way to bring the Six out without them having to break out of prison. That's actually pretty brilliant. See, you're giving away money.
Regular Scott gives away $32,000.
Hey, I'm almost at a solid year's salary.
Yeah, almost.
We're giving away a lot of money. I think we're in the wrong business here, guys.
Yeah, dude. I feel like there's probably some like exec who just like, I had this great idea. How did you get these ideas? Nothing.
Just listen to this small little podcast.
It just came to me out of nowhere.
So when you think about it, DC's hurting, man, and here we are throwing out $1 million ideas.
Well, but JVD, DC's hurting because of their own actions.
So, yes, I completely agree with that. And I kind of think that's more Warner Brothers than it is DC.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more Warner Brothers.
And I think people don't really realize that, because that's all your producers and your executives. I mean, it comes from the Hollywood side of the film, not from the comic book side.
Well, they just gave Seth MacFarlane $200 million, so.
Dude, well.
We talked about that last week, Oz.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but I'm encouraged that they gave is this Seth Rogen? Seth Rogen was the guy behind Preacher, so that was cool to see that on AMC. That was really cool.
He was also behind Green Hornet too.
Yeah, well, which is fine because that shows that he's got a lot. Well, it shows that he's got a love of comics, which is cool.
That's true. Okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We got to pay some bills. And then we'll be right back. And then we're going to get into the Battleground. We have a pro here on the show for the Battleground, for the collision, or there I go again, the crossover collision.
Oh, dude. Man, regular Scott.
Listen, I told you I'm trying to engrave it in my brain. I'm going to get this right, okay? I'm going to get it right. We'll be right back. I need to practice. Crossover collision, crossover collision, crossover collision.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.
And we are back. Make sure you are definitely checking out the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast from Lynn and Kim, the reigning and defending Battleground champions. I wonder if they've lost any training ground matches to any guests on their shows.
Hey, man, regular Scott, why you gotta say it like that, dude?
Man, dude, you make me feel awesome over here.
Hey, JVD, let's be perfectly clear. This dude is my co-host, and he's talking like this, okay?
Listen, it's all. I'm just tearing you down so I can build you back up. You're going to do great, honestly.
Dude, I'm waiting for that build back up.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I'm waiting till you get to your lowest. And then I'm going to build you back up. Also, I just thought I'd let everyone know that Uncle Oz has used the Twitter, and he just friended JVD on Twitter.
Friended. Think of the term friended.
That's a direct quote.
Tearing it down brick by brick.
Shot fired.
JVD, they're just literally pebbles right now. There's not even brick.
I mean, I know you can't see me, but I'm quoting friended you like months ago. So,
hey, and then I will say this. I don't care how the Battleground goes. JVD, I feel like you're a kindred spirit. I want to apologize for regular Scott.
Why are you apologizing for me?
Just for everything about you. Okay. So, but thank you, JVD. Thank you, sir. And I appreciate that.
Hold on.
My goal for 2020 is to break like double digits. So.
Wait, were you at 12 not too long ago?
Hey, JVD. He loses followers on the weekly.
I don't even have to look.
Hey, you wait. Hey, regular Scott, the Twitter game is going to be strong, son.
How many times have you retweeted in the last week since last time we talked to you?
Never.
Hey, wait, hold on. Wait. Why am I on trial here? You know? I'm just saying. You know?
I think you kind of put yourself up there.
Yeah, you did that, dude.
Yeah, I think that was all you, buddy.
Listen, all I was trying to do, JVD, was just walk down that hill.
You know, when this show first started and JVD was calling you the brains of this operation, I got a little worried, but this ended up being a pretty good episode.
No. Don't be worried. Just to understand what truth is.
It hurts.
It does hurt. It does sting a little bit.
And there's a truth.
So let me ask you guys: do you want to go straight to the Battleground, or do you want a one's gotta go? Let me know.
Okay. I think I have one thing to interrupt because I've been working hard not to interrupt. I will say this: let our guests choose what we do.
One's gotta go.
Ooh.
And JVD, thank you very much, sir.
Let's do the show like you guys always do it.
So
dude, that guy right there.
My one's gotta go is a little different. You know, since we're doing the crossover collision / Battleground episode, I figure let's do a one's gotta go with classic fighting games. So one of these games has never been created. Okay? Actually, let me make it a little harder. You pick one of these games and the other three are never created.
That's tough.
Let me change that up a little bit. Let me make it a little harder. Here are your 4 games. And that means all the games that come with it. Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Super Smash Brothers.
Hey, don't knock Super Smash.
Right? I was just about to say that, dude. That is a classic on the 64.
I'm just glad you didn't say Zelda.
Man, like our local con has a ton of tournaments over that. Like every year, it's huge. Like that game's legit.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
Hey.
I gotta bust people out, dude. JVD, don't be offended. I had to laugh because this dude got a Switch for Christmas. And he's just been playing that thing nonstop.
But I've been playing Mario Kart.
Okay.
Mario Kart and FIFA. Shout out to FIFA too. I definitely play my soccer.
You still need to get your Zelda in, dude.
Nah, I got to get other games before I get Zelda.
Okay.
I got to get Super Smash Brothers before I get Zelda, Mario Tennis, Dragon Ball Super. There's a lot I got to get before Zelda.
All right. Okay.
But JVD, let's start with you. Which game are you keeping, and what 3 are you erasing from history?
Oh, well, it's definitely Ultimate Alliance and Smash Brothers going away. The thing is, without Street Fighter, you don't have Mortal Kombat. But if you don't have Mortal Kombat, you don't have fighting games taking the levels that they did after the first one. Man, I'm taking Street Fighter. I grew up playing Street Fighter in arcade, Street Fighter 2 all the time. Like, that's where my allowance went with as a kid. So I'm taking Street Fighter because without Street Fighter, you don't have any of the others.
Okay. Oz.
So we need to keep the. You want me to choose the one that we're going to save? The 3 are just out of here forever.
Forever. Erased from history. Never created. And that means all the games that come with it are never created.
So we got Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Smash Brothers, Street Fighter, and
Mortal Kombat.
You want to say Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm going to say Street Fighter. No, I'm going to say Mortal Kombat actually, just because I feel that Mortal Kombat just set the tone for kind of action fighting stuff and like the gore and that kind of thing. I don't know, and the code. It kind of set the tone for the. I don't know. It has a special place in my heart for me.
No, definitely. I feel like the games that impacted us, as we grew up and we played the most, those are going to be the ones that we kind of lean towards. And I just think that's a natural. Yeah, exactly. I think that's just a natural inclination. So I'm ready for the flack. I'm ready for the smoke.
Here we go.
I'm keeping Super Smash Brothers, and here's why. Yes, there's no Street Fighter, there's no Mortal Kombat. We still got Streets of Rage, and I think that would take the place of a Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat, I think we still get like our Tekkens and our Soul Calibers, and that kind of takes that dark
Soul Calibur,
and that kind of takes that dark gritty spot that Mortal Kombat would take. Super Smash Brothers, to me, at least when that came out, was kind of like almost revolutionary in the fact that you had like Pokemon fighting Star Fox and Samus fighting Mario, and you hadn't seen like crossovers like that.
The cross games.
Yeah, the cross game. Like you hadn't seen that before in video games. And
you
I
didn't
think
see a crossover collision.
True that.
Right.
But and I think it set the stage for your Capcoms versus whatever, and your Mortal Kombat versus DC. Like, I think that set the stage for that. And I feel like when a game is so iconic that you'll go back and play it on a Nintendo 64, I think that says something about the game.
I don't agree with that. It's kind of like GoldenEye.
That is a great example, just like GoldenEye.
I mean, I can sit and play GoldenEye on 64 all day and just run around and chop people.
Love GoldenEye. That's a classic game. I should have put that in there. That would have changed the whole narrative.
They remade it like.
Oh, dude! I used to GoldenEye was a jam.
Get you a golden gun and call it a day.
Dude, that's one hit. You're good.
Okay, so we all picked a different game, but no love from Marvel Ultimate Alliance, huh?
No, dude, because that. No, it was good, but I'm telling you this: if it was like one's got to go and this one's gone forever and can never be made, I'm like, all right, cool, do that. So,
all right, cool, do that. Okay. Battleground time. Time for the main event. It's what everybody's been waiting for. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, I'm just saying, dude. Last week you got on me for not being excited, so now I'm excited, and I'm trying to get some energy out of you, and you ain't got no energy for me, and that's all. That's all I'm saying. Keep that same energy.
In the fridge and get a beer.
Oh yeah, dude, and let me tell you something. And I'm just telling you something for you, JVD. I almost got the 7.8 alcohol. Instead, I toned it down and got the 5.4 because I didn't want to fall asleep while we were doing this battleground. I wanted to make sure I was paying attention. So,
man, we don't need lightweights in the battleground.
Dude, I'm not saying I'm a lightweight, but is there a class under featherweight?
No, hey, look, JVD. I will say this. I will say Uncle Oz can drink. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. He can drink.
I have been known to chug a beer or two.
I will give him that. He can put a few down. He can be
I
functional.
I believe that.
All right. So I put up a couple Twitter polls. You guys know I love a good Twitter poll. And I asked you guys to pick our battlegrounds for us. And your choices from the DC side were Mr. Terrific, who I hope is going to end up somehow in season 2 of the crossover collision.
We're looking on it for it.
I really hope he ends up because I think them T-spheres are going to be a problem. Black Canary, Hawk Girl, and Oliver Queen.
Mm-hmm.
With over 52%, a fan favorite apparently of Tank and Knee and the fans who vote on it, Black Canary.
Wow.
Well, we already know how Oz thinks this battle is going to go, so...
Black Canary gives the biggest sonic
as soon as she
scream
walks out
ever. So she sees she just gets transported, and as soon as she opens her eyes, she screams everywhere. She kills Black Bolt.
Yeah, I don't know about that. From the Marvel side, your 4 choices were Daredevil in a potential rematch, Black Panther, Gambit, or Black Widow. With over 31% of the votes, Gambit, in my opinion, pulls out an upset.
Yeah, I voted for Daredevil. So
yeah.
Oh, you wanted the rematch?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I didn't vote for Canary. I voted for Hawk Girl.
Oh.
Whoa!
Now, see, the last time you guys did this with Black Canary, I actually voted Black Canary versus Gambit. So I'm kind of happy to do this.
Okay, so you end up getting the one you wanted at first anyway.
I know, right? It's funny how that works.
Yeah, no, I'm a little nervous about this one actually. So I'm just I have a lot of deep mixed opinions about this. So
now you know what's bad about this is Gambit is E's favorite boy, and he can't even be here to defend him.
Well, dude, Gambit. That fool comes in layers. That dude is deep.
Comes in spades.
Yes, that was awesome.
I do enjoy the wordplay. I do enjoy the puns. I love a good pun.
That was great. That was awesome.
I enjoy a good pun.
Oh my god, yeah, that guy's deep. Dude.
So JVD, if you don't mind, I'd kind of like for you to take over a little bit and kind of go through the process. And kind of let our audience kind of see the process of how you go about doing a battleground on your show.
Okay, so you basically want me to lay this out how I'd see the fight between both of them?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like a battleground?
Yes, I would. Hey, the floor is completely yours.
JVD, please, in the words of Regular Scott, please set the table.
All right, so on Crossover Collision, we have 8 battlegrounds. We roll them out with the D8 polyhedral die. Number 1 on the die is a jungle. 2 is a city street. 3 is a salvage yard. You get some insight here on the new battlegrounds. 4 is a rooftop of a 10-foot story building. 3 is a medieval water cistern. If you don't know what a water cistern is for medieval times, look them up. They're crazy. It's like catacombs held up by pillars full of water. 6 is a warehouse. 7 is a cargo ship. And 8, one of our brand new ones, is a chemical plant. So
wow.
I'm going to roll. Yes, we've added 3 new ones. So here we go. Rolling a D8 because all good dice rollers have an app on the phone. We got a 2. So this takes place in a city street. So how I would see this fight going, we've got Gambit and we have Black Canary. Both people, their power sets really are limited here due to, okay, let me back up. Our city street, we talk Times Square. So you've got a lot of people running around. It's in the middle of a city. We've got skyscrapers lining the roads, but you can't go inside of the buildings. The fight must stay within the street. You can fly or perch up on billboards, scaffoldings in the area. Like I said, people are crowding the street. There's taxi cars everywhere. You can throw a trash can. Anything you can get your hands on, you can throw. So when I first see this, if you really look at Marvel and you really look at DC, the X-Men are used to saving people in a type of situation like this. They're very used to how their powers work and how to control it around a crowd of people. You don't get that a lot in DC, especially with a lot of characters. You think a lot of these street-level characters for DC, like the Bat family, the Birds of Prey, a lot of this stuff takes place in like back alleys or rooftops or whatnot. So that's really going to limit Black Canary, for one, that, and second, like, she knows how devastating your canary cry can be. Here recently, and I'll give you some insight, we're actually going to talk Black Canary on our show real soon.
Okay.
To pray. So I actually have some pretty good research on it. And we've had Gambit on our Battlegrounds quite a bit. But her sonic cry is really going to limit her, because as long as there's people in the way, she's not going to use it.
She'll do it.
Yeah, I don't think she would take the risk, even though she's very precise about it. And then you have Gambit, who can literally control the kinetic energy in his cards. So all he's got to do is fling them. Now, the trick he's got, this is a huge advantage, what I think of, is she might see that they're with energy and she might use the cry on them. But if she doesn't watch it, they're going to blow up in her face, depending on how close she gets them. And you got to think, and every time she's throwing one and they blow up, she's giving Gambit the opportunity to take cover, because Gambit's going to know just how much charge to put in a card, that it's not going to hurt anybody, it's not going to affect the environment, and he's literally going to bob and weave his way around the city street and these people until he gets to her. And then we get in the melee, which I think Black Canary excels at compared to Gambit. If you look at Gambit's history, he's a good fighter, but he's not the greatest X-Men fighter. And that's kind of going to be his weak point here, because if he locks up with Black Canary melee, he's done. I don't care what he does. His only saving grace is the trick with kinetic energy. He might be able to grab her staff, blow it up, blow the ground up underneath her. But the thing is, Black Canary's proven to be pretty quick when it comes to stuff like that, real close, like energy-based attacks. So he's really going to have to keep the distance. And Gambit usually does. So as long as he keeps the distance and is smart enough not to lock up with her, he should win. And as long as he's smart enough to finish the fight before the crowd clears out, it should be a pretty good victory for him. But once they clear out, Black Canary, if she's going to see the card, she's going to see what he's capable of, and anytime a card comes her way, she's going to use the cry. And I think even though she's got him melee, she might just use the cry enough to close ranks, just enough to stun him and daisy him so she could go and finish him off. So, but based on the way like me and Evan see anything, it's in this type of environment, it's the crowd. You know, a crowd in Times Square. Have any of you guys ever been to Times Square?
No, I haven't.
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, it's a tourist destination. There's a ton of people around. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, how long, Uncle Oz, do you think it would take for a crowd of people to clear out of Times Square if two people were teleported in and would like fight each other?
Well, I mean, they would be, first of all, being hit by a swarm of people screaming and like running away, trying to get free of themselves. You know. But now, JVD, I need to talk to you about some Gambit stuff, though. Okay. If you have a second now. So but see now the Black Canary fighting Gambit thing. Black Canary is a martial arts beast, right?
Yeah.
But Gambit has due to his powers, he's got augmented like agility, strength, and that kind of thing. Not superhuman level, but it's above, like, you know.
It's above peak level.
Thank you. It's above peak level. So that, and I did my own research because I got so nervous when the regular Scott said you were going to be on the show. Like, so Gambit, like, you can say canon or not, but even Nick Fury has quoted this dude as saying he's a badass fighter. And you got to remember, and I always think of Gambit back in the X-Men when Storm was like transformed to like a little girl, and they had to introduce Gambit. Gambit was a badass fighter, especially with his bow.
So here's where I think Gambit, the way I see all that happening, and I see Gambit landing one of his cards and maybe exploding it in Black Canary's face. I think Black Canary is more tactical, and I could see her faking being knocked out. Gambit is very arrogant. He's very cocky, and you could definitely see this guy. And she's an attractive woman, so I could see Gambit thinking she's knocked out and walking up to her, saying some little line, and bam.
Hey, Cherie.
And bam, she hits him with a scream right in the face. Because I'd see.
Okay, but there's another point to this, though. Yeah, we know Black Canaries are beautiful, but Gambit also has his own ability where he can kind of enamor people.
He's got his charm. I was sandbagging that.
Yeah, dude, JVD, man, he's got the charm, and also
that charm doesn't work on everybody, though.
No, it doesn't. But he can distract people, and also I wanted to bring this about his other power, about the kinetic energy power. He can also like put it into things, like he can like steer at stuff and like put it into a belt or whatever. So he's not just like limited to his cards, dude. He's got his powers.
Oh yeah, he can load up a car, or he can grab a manhole and chunk it and load it up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's meant to, the kinetic energy that he unloads is meant to explode.
So JVD, let me ask you this: what do you think Canary would be able to hold Gambit off long enough for the crowd to completely empty, or at least a section of it to empty, to open it up for her to use her cry?
I think she is. I think she's skilled enough. Because you got to think she's considered one of the top fighters in DC.
Yeah,
absolutely. Now, would you think that she could beat Bullseye in a hand-to-hand fight? Because he's kind of top tier for Marvel.
I think she could beat just about anybody hand-to-hand, just purely hand-to-hand, no like pure hand-to-hand. I think she's right there with anybody.
What about you?
I see here. Okay, I want to say, I feel like if Marvel versus DC, if there was like just a room with just Elektra, no weapons, and Black Canary, and she can't scream, but she's just going to fight. Black Canary, she's a very lethal fighter, dude. So for Birds of Prey, Black Canary's the brute.
It should be Cassandra Cain.
But so in the comic book, you know, she's like you have the information person, Oracle. Black Canary is like the thug. She's like the brute person, dude.
No, I'm not taking nothing away from her. You're right. I agree.
You know, no, and that's just in the comic. But like, so I like Black Canary. I also feel like this would happen. They both, even Gambit's an asshole, but he has a sense of not wanting to hurt people too much,
especially
yeah. And he's got a really weird thing about kids. He does not want to see any kids hurt. There's a whole Morlock story about this dude too, you know? And so like he's got a soft spot about that, which again goes back to him befriending Storm when she was a little kid. Okay. So I feel like they would figure out a way to get the crowd away, but then Black Canary might try and get that dude into like some kind of really alleyway, into like a really confined environment.
Well, here's the thing: they can't leave the confines of the battleground.
Okay, got you.
But see, that's a good point. And this is why me and Evan wanted to do the show, because when you get to talking, you start to figure things, and now you're like you just brought up, Oz. These guys are heroes. So would they be like, hey, look, we realize we've got to fight each other. Would they let the crowd clear out?
Right.
And that's part of the reason I asked you, like, I guess I probably should have asked that question instead, because you bring up a good point. They are both heroes. So maybe instead of her holding off, maybe they both are like, we know what we need to do. Let's let these people clear out. Because then it changes the entire battle.
Yes.
Here's the kicker for both of you guys. Teleport them in Times Square December 31st at 11:59 a.m. At 11:59 p.m. and then see what happens. That's mayhem. That's craziness for them, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because if we just had New Year's, and that place is cram packed to the gills full of people.
Yeah,
they wouldn't fight.
Like
they
4
wouldn't
hours.
fight.
No, there's too many people. There's even on the premises of our show that there has to be a winner. Yeah, something like that. That's just kind of that's insane. The amount of people they would have to deal with. So
there's an amount of them like seriously like steering each other down, trying to size each other up while people are like running past them and everything else, just waiting for an opening, you know. But also knowing that they'll never have that opening too.
Yeah, and see, like you said, if knowing that they're realizing that they're not trying to hurt the pedestrians, they might let everybody clear out before they have this fight.
Yeah.
And then you have a totally different fight on your hands. And I think when it comes to that, and then I think Gambit loses.
Oh yeah, I think I don't even think it's close.
And I don't even think that it's the fact that she's just not going to canary crying like she's Ryu Hadouken people in Street Fighter or anything. It's just that I think she's fast enough and she's agile enough to get away from anything Gambit can do. If he wants to blow up a car, she's fast enough to get away with it. Any card thrown at her, the canary cry should stop any card from coming to her.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and the thing is, she is the superb melee fighter here, because the reason I asked about Bullseye is Bullseye's beat Gambit down.
Yeah. But then
and
there's sorry, go ahead.
In the books, when it comes to a melee fight, that's not what he needs. He's the type of character that needs to stay back and let his powers play out. That's what characters like Wolverine and Psylocke are for.
JVD, at his heart, he's a thief.
Yes, exactly. He's not a fighter. Yeah, he is a thief.
Yeah. And to your point, for me, I feel like those, like him and his deck of cards and everything, throwing them, which are very lethal when they make contact, to her, you might as well be throwing stars at her where she needs to dodge them.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. One thing you also have to think about this fight is the more Gambit uses his powers, the more it drains him, especially he's a character that'll take risk. And so that's not going to pay off for him because it's going to weaken him. We've never seen the Canary Cry at big points really weaken Black Canary in a book. So, I mean, the more he uses his powers, that's fatigue he's taking on where she can just keep screaming and stopping everything that's thrown at her.
Yeah, for him, just because of the nature he is, to me, I feel like this dude is going to try and Deadpool word her ass to death, try and say stuff to her to try and get her off guard by his word, try and charm her that way, everything, and then use the powers as a last resort.
She's not one I think would fall to the charm.
She won't. She you know what? Because she's got a couple things going for her. Just because she's got her training and she's got her
She's got a man. She's got her man.
She's got her love for Oliver.
Yeah, she's got a man. That ain't gonna work on her.
Well, but here's the thing, though. It's not a attraction like, running downhill to have sex with cows when you're a bull or anything.
I love it.
It's a mutant power, right? I mean, just throwing that back there. But and here's the thing, the research we're currently doing with Black Canary, she's going to fight Sub-Zero on our show for Mortal Kombat.
Oh, Jesus.
Here's the thing. We're taking a lot of her stuff from the 52 on, the new 52. Mm-hmm. And you've seen her susceptible to mind control. So technically, his charm should work.
Right. Okay.
But how often do you see that? That's more of something he uses, like I said, because he's a thief. That's more of something he uses when he's trying to get information or he's trying to escape and whatnot. It's not something you see in a battle. And one thing people don't realize is what makes the X-Men great is they work well as a team. Individually, some of them don't do so well. They're built and they're trained about being a team, not individuals. Right. So in Black Canary, a lot of the DC street level characters are trained to be out on their own and be able to take on groups of people by themselves, especially somebody with her power set.
Yeah, and I think this is a bad matchup for Gambit too, because not only can she counter his long range attacks, which you guys talk about a lot on your show, is how important a long range attack can be. But she's might even be even more lethal up close hand to hand. You know what I mean? And that really poses a problem for him.
Yes, it and it always happens.
So can we talk about the stuff that no one has talked about that needs to be said? The unsaid thing that needs to be said.
If it has to do with cows, we don't want to hear it again.
Whoever
did you just moo?
He did moo. He did moo. He did moo.
I was gonna say who, but I'll say moo. So moo. So like whoever wins this battle, if one of those persons is hurt really bad, there's gonna be hell to pay from the group's other person.
Hey, JVD,
you know
I don't know if you've heard some of the other battlegrounds that we've done, but they always end up, like, there's always, like, somebody else coming in after the fact to come get revenge, and then somebody else is coming from the other side.
Hold on. But
second tag.
But get this. There is no way if Gambit kicks Black Canary's ass that Green Arrow ain't going to go ballistic and go nuts.
Yeah,
okay?
But he can beat Rogue.
Oh wait, what was that?
Do you think he can beat Rogue though?
Oh, dude, please. But see, here you go. It's the gateway drug.
Yeah, because next thing you know, Green Arrow's like, all right, Justice League, I need some help, guys.
No, like regular Scott. Not even that. His ass calls Batman
right off the gate.
Dude, it is straight up. Yo, Bruce, I need to talk to you.
Oh my God, I can't believe you just went there.
Dude, I'm just saying that it's a game, and so flip it. Black Canary takes out Gambit, and they're like, "Oh,
no." You know what? The worst part is they'll probably be like, "Nah, he probably deserved that."
Dude,
Cyclops is like, "Nah, he deserved that. Thanks for not killing him."
Well, Rogue is probably like, he's an asshole. But let me just say this: if they do some really bad harm to Gambit, there's a terrible storm coming over that area, dude. I'm just saying. Because at the end of the day, I don't know why Storm forgives that dude for a lot of shit, dude.
I just think that's kind of the X-Men way. Everybody forgives everybody.
They are legit like brothers and sisters. They're hey.
I mean, Scott and Wolverine pretty much share Jean Grey, and they forgive each other all the time.
My God, they're just like, hey, you know what? You might have to try to destroy the universe, but.
And then when Jean runs with Logan, Scott's got Emma, so.
That's true. That's true.
Hold up. When Scott brings Emma into him and Jean's bed in the X mansion, people are like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, they always forgive stuff, dude.
I don't know if you guys read the new X-Men title, but I'm pretty sure some shit like that's going on.
Maybe wild,
dude, it is crazy. I don't know if you guys have read any of the new stuff, but like in one house, it's like Scott and all his like kids, like Cable, and there's like Vulcan's
Rachel,
there.
everybody.
Rachel, yeah, Wolverine's there, and then you see like Emma and Jean having drinks together. Like, hey, I hate you too, bitch. Let's just get along.
Jesus,
that's weird.
Yeah, dude, you read it. There's people thinking there's some weird stuff going on.
And regular Scott, you have never seen anything weird than two women having a cat fight, but it's only through telepathy.
And listen, I was just about to say that so let me Scott Summers must just be like, listen, you know what I'm thinking. It is what it is, because y'all both know what I'm thinking at all times.
Dude, so
he don't have a free thought in his mind.
I want to. So I'm not trying to be like this romantic at heart, but one of my favorite X-Men stories way back in the day when I used to read the X-Men was there's a scene where Jean Grey and Scott Summers are at a cafe and they're at a diner and they're eating their food and they're there for a couple hours and the waitress is just giving them food but she's just like, oh, that's so sad. They don't talk to each other. But they're just talking the whole time telepathically, and it's just a very cool scene that like they're just like having the best time of their life. People are like going, "Oh, that's just terrible," I love that scene.
That's sweet, Uncle Oz.
Oh man, come on, man.
Hey, so JVD, let's go ahead and score this battleground.
Okay, well, how I see it, a lot of what But the factor is the crowd. And this is where it would depend on how we would see the fight going. So this is where I'd ask you, Scott, would these guys let the crowd clear out, or would they go at it beforehand and like pick their shots until the crowd plays out? Because that's really your deciding factor here.
So I think it starts out a little bit with Gambit. I think Gambit throws the first shot and tries to hit her with the crowd. And I do think he takes the first shot, but I think once he realizes that he's not going to be able to do it, she realizes that, I think they do let everybody clear out at that point. So then it becomes, does he catch her with that first shot? And I don't think he does. As we've talked about, she's much more tactical. She's quick on her feet. Her instincts are high level. So I think they do end up letting everybody clear out. And then I think it's a landslide really for Black Canary at that point. I don't think it's a full sweep. I think it's probably more of a 3-1.
Cool. Oz?
I had thought that, well, it all depends. Like if it is that December 31st scenario, or if it's like 5:45 in the morning before people are getting ready to go to work.
Let's say we drop them in like right now.
Oh, dude, like right now? So, okay. Yeah. So,
you got a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 people out there.
Yeah, I see both of them being disoriented, and then I see the crowd, and then I see Gambit knowing that he needs to try and take her out. Oh man, that's tough, dude.
So you're more of a draw. You're saying it's like a 2-2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2-2. I think a 2-2 is good.
See, I side with Gambit. I side Gambit 3-1 because here's the thing.
Wow.
Wow.
Just listen, because here's the thing. If he throws that card
Yeah.
And Black Canary uses the scream to stop it where it doesn't hurt anything. That tells Gambit a lot. He's like, okay, this chick is Banshee. I know what her powers are capable of. I know how to shut her out, and I know I need to finish her fast, because if she gets these people out of the way, I'm toast. And I think that's when he straight up takes the fight to her. And the thing is, the only reason I give Canary 1, because I think Gambit is risky enough that he would get up too close to her and she would lay him out eventually. So, yes, I think Gambit is a type of character that might take advantage of people being around, because he's been around them enough with the X-Men to save them and knows how to fight around them.
Well, here's the other thing, JVD. Since you said they get dropped right now, there are no kids really around right now. So it's a bunch of adults right now.
Yeah, so, if you want to throw that in there, yeah.
Oh, dude.
So, Evan, when you
That's
listen
great.
to this, I'm giving your boy Gambit a win. Remember who's got the love for you here.
So with that being said, I'm adding it up, and it looks like it's 6-6. That's a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw. But that's why we do 3 of our battle the show. So, and then that's the thing. Like, okay, and even if it was just like me or Scott, we would be a draw. But if you guys were to score on your own show, it's a totally different score, and Black Canary would win. She'd win 5-3.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
So, I mean, that's what's great about doing this, and this is like why we like to discuss it, because the matters of opinions and the different ways you see things in the end add up, and the more you talk about it, the more things come into play that you might not realize.
Yeah.
And that's why we're excited to have you guys on, because, I mean, you think we're killing a bunch of time right now. Imagine when there's 4 of us talking about all this through 3 battlegrounds.
Imagine me being in heaven.
So you need a cooler for that day.
Oh, God. What are you talking? No. That's this. No, I need a mini fridge for that day.
Do we just need to meet up at a bar?
That would be awesome. I would be down for that.
Regular Scott, I will pay for the tickets and we'll do that. Cool.
I would be down for that one.
Just make sure your laptop is charged.
So you guys kind of see how they go about their battleground and how intricate in the details that they really go into. And it's one thing that I really appreciated about y'all's show. And the first time I heard it, I first saw it as kind of a Twitter thing, this guy for this guy. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me see what they're talking about. And I just, and you brought it here on this show. I love the insight and just the little things that people might not think about. Like, just like the people, they're both heroes. Is there a chance they would let everybody clear out? Gambit's the type of person that would take advantage of people knowing that she's a hero and she's going to save people. those are the little things that I really enjoy about y'all's show. And you and Evan have a great chemistry, and you guys, you both have differing opinions, but you understand, if there's a point made, it is what it is. And I love just the intricacy of what you guys lay out for everyone, and you give your reasons for it as well. It's really in depth, and I enjoy it a lot.
I appreciate that, because I'm going to tell you, when it comes to sports, we're completely different, and that's a fight. So,
at least you guys can talk about sports.
Well, yeah, that's true, but it's not a good thing. I'm a Packers guy. He's a Bears guy. I'm a Duke guy. He's a North Carolina guy. So it's
I didn't know you were a Dookie. I certainly would not have let you on this show if I'd have known you were a Dookie, because I'm a Tar Heel guy myself.
Oh man, yeah, I'm cutting this feed, and I'll get you.
Hey, feel free whenever you want to, JVD.
JVD. Let me explain. Oz is completely lost right now when it comes to Tar Heels and Dookies.
I'm not surprised.
So once again, Regular Scott, I'm really getting offended by this. I know exactly that a Tar Heel, you're referring to soccer, and a Dookie is what you need to do after eating Chipotle.
I stand corrected. You know exactly what we're talking about.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I stand corrected. JVD, let me ask you, what has been your, I think I might know the answer to this one, but which battleground has caused the most outrage?
Well, okay, I want you to tell me what you think it is.
I'm thinking it's the Black Panther.
Oh, battle. I thought you said battleground. You're talking like Black Panther versus Guile?
Yes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say battleground. I just meant the battle. Yep.
Yeah, I would think that. But like I said, if you look back at that Black Panther book with Iron Fist, and here's, I think, what a lot of people don't get is you've got to see what's in one book. And then, okay, well, this character's in this world and does the same thing. So technically, it should work the same way. Because like people like to compare the strength of the Hulk and Superman. Like, well, Superman's unlimited as long as he's in solar energy. The Hulk's unlimited as long as he's angry. I mean, The strength still works the same way. So there's something common there that should affect things in a different world, even though they're separated. So. And that's the thing. You look at that Black Panther book, and he's fighting Iron Fist, even though he's possessed. His chi, his Iron Fist, is tearing through vibranium. And what do the Street Fighter characters use? They use Kai, which is just chi. It's just a difference between China and Japan. So it works. And when you look at Black Panther, he's an aggressive character. I mean, if he's fighting somebody, he's aggressive. Guile is a very patient character. He waits for you to come to him. And with the type of power set he got, that's bad for a character like Black Panther, who really relies on vibranium armor to protect him. And if he gets hit by something he's not expecting, because he's like, oh, my armor will absorb it, that's going to throw him for a loop.
Yeah, I agree with that. And one character who I've learned a lot about just from you guys and have grown a bit more appreciation for, and a lot of it is the technology that he has, is Dredd, Judge Dredd.
I knew you was going to say that, because that day we talked about him on Twitter.
Yeah, because it's true though. Like
and his gun.
Yeah, and I've never, because I never would have predicted, first of all, that he would have lasted as long as he did, and like it might have been the particular episode was him versus Miles Morales, where I was like, if he can do all of this with his technology, like, you got to get the helmet off if you want a chance at him.
And get the gun away from him.
Well, obviously get the gun away, but if you don't get that helmet off, he's going to be able to lock onto you.
Well, a lot of things you got to think about. Okay, for one, like range, and Dredd obviously would have distance in that fight, but that's one thing we're talking about, like hero wise. Like in a city street, that's what that fight come down to with Dredd Miles. Dredd is an officer of the law, and he would clear the street out. Miles automatically realized, hey, he's got a gun. They're civilians. I have to take the gun out. And Dredd is a type of character that is not going to fire a shot. He's going to try to get as many people out, and then that gives Miles a huge advantage. But if you look at Spider-Man, any type of Spider-Man character in a book, they don't just run up at you and try to fight you. They're ducking, they're dodging, they're weaving their way to you. And when you look at the lawgiver, something it's got heat seeking, it's got ricocheting bullets, it's got incendiary bullets, that's a gun you don't want to take your time coming after. It's something you immediately need to get away from somebody. It's a very sophisticated piece of equipment for comic books. I mean, it's pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So again, definitely check out their podcast. Season 2 has not come out, but you've given a little teaser for season 2. Lay out who you have for your the first combatants in your new season.
Darth Maul from Star Wars. We're big Darth Maul fans. And bringing it back to the X-Men like we did today, we're talking Psylocke. So Darth Maul versus Psylocke. There's a lot of...
Yeah, I saw that. That looks crazy, dude.
There's a lot of common things some characters have in common power-wise. I don't think people realize, because right now in our Facebook poll, like Darth Maul is dominating. So, but maybe when it comes to Battlegrounds, and maybe we'll make people realize, hey, maybe these characters are more equal than what you think, and it just relies on that one big difference between them.
Oz, I've mentioned on Twitter that I think Darth Maul will end up taking it. Who are you putting your money on in this battle?
You can tweet.
Yes, Oz, you can tweet at your new friend.
I'm going to tweet you guys when we finish the show. But dude, here's the thing. I know there's that Sith power, there's all that stuff, but man, can I give a little shout out to my telepath?
That was brought up. That was brought up on the Twitter poll, and they talked about her katana and whatnot. Her kinetic energy katana, and well, not kinetic energy, but you know what I'm saying. And I think her concentration on that would leave her vulnerable to Darth Maul's force powers.
But she's a telepath, though, too. She's not just a ninja. She's a telepath too.
But here's the thing you have to realize about Psylocke: she has to focus on one and limit the other.
I know.
Right.
So,
and I think that comes back to haunt her in the battle. But again, it'll depend on where they are and stuff. Because I don't think Darth Maul cares about people.
No.
So all right, that was great. Thank you, JVD, because that was very enlightening. And maybe next time when we do one, we might be a little bit more organized.
No, there's no thank you, JVD, for this, because when Darth Maul kills Psylocke, the X-Men are coming after his ass.
You see how this dude always wants to bring a gangbang into it? Like, he's always bringing the goons behind him.
He wants to write a plot is what he wants to do, and we're talking about a fight.
Right. This dude's trying to build a full-on crossover 7 issue story arc, and we're just trying to do one fight.
Hey, JVD, I have to tell you something, dude. It has been a pleasure having you on the show, and man, like some of the stuff you just said, it's just been nothing but it's been enlightening and just brilliant. It's been awesome. It's been great.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. The honor is all mine, though. I mean, it is nice to actually do this with somebody else. Not that I'm hating on Evan, but you get a fresh perspective. Like a lot of times I can look at Evan and know what he's going to think. But with you guys, I get somebody completely new, and it's pretty refreshing. But, I mean, honestly, you guys are being very flattering, calling us professionals and pros, and I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot. It brings a tear to my eye.
No, but we have battles, but our battles that we have with our folks are basically like literally like toddlers in a sandbox. You guys bring the thunder. You guys are like on some Secret War Beyonder stuff. This is great, dude. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Well, like I said, just wait till we get you guys on our show, and then there's a lot to lay out.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a good time. I hope Oz does his research.
Hey, man.
No, you don't have to do no research. I'm gonna have to do some research though.
You listen to me. You need to do the research.
Yeah,
okay?
I probably need to do some research.
And here's the thing, man. You do your own research. Me and Evan, actually, what we do is we research together and find what we think is pretty common about the characters. Because I was waiting for Oz to be like, "Oh, well, Black Canary, she blew up a Basil's head." That happened.
Right. See, yes.
Or Gambit took out Gladiator. That happened once.
But JVD, man, my man, when I saw that, I was like, but Gambit's got all this other stuff that's crazy. So this is like, okay, so.
Listen, he's excited right now. He can't contain himself.
I know, dude. Because I'm dealing with regular Scott on a regular basis. So JVD, I am excited to have you on the show.
Hey, appreciate it. Now, I got to bring this up. Scott, me and you today, I kind of gave you like, hey, man, here's some matchups we got. What do you want to do? Have you told him who you got yet? Don't say anything.
No, I haven't. I haven't told him.
Oh, see, no, wait.
I have not told him.
When regular Scott starts his little laugh that he does, that's not cool, dude.
No, dude. I don't think you realize how cool it's probably going to be.
Oh man, you will enjoy this one.
It's a name you've dropped a couple times.
See.
For the next battle, you're saying you're going to do Galactus versus Howard the Duck.
Yes. Even though we don't do same universes, yes.
Okay, got it. Okay, sorry. You know what? That was very rude of me. You're going to do Howard the Duck versus Captain Kangaroo. So
yes, with Underdog as the referee.
Oz. He's doing Howard the Duck versus Darkwing Duck. It's the battle of the ducks.
All types of quacks, dude.
It's the battle of the ducks, man.
And I just want you to know that Daffy Duck is on commentary.
Oh,
come on.
Him and Donald.
Oh. All right, let's get to our final blow. JVD as the guest. Give us your final blow. This is your opportunity to kind of give us your parting shot. You will be back on the show at some point because I'm going to have you and Evan on next time. Shout out to Evan as well.
Absolutely.
So plug anything, plug your show, plug your Twitter, plug Evan's Twitter, and give us your parting shot.
Man, the first thing I want to plug, honestly, is you guys. Me and Evan, we've got a list of people we're getting ready to thank. Like, you guys are on the top of the list. I can't plug you guys enough. I think, and we both agree, even though he's not here, that without your guys' help, I don't think our podcast would have got the attention that it's got. So I've got to plug you guys first.
Wow.
And what? No, man. Come on.
No, seriously, man. I mean, okay, we've been doing this. It's somewhere on my phone on this episode. It's like August 2017. And here, once we've started our tournament, we've got some momentum, but there's like you and like 6 or 7 other people that were just like hitting the retweet and you were talking about it. And it's really built a lot of momentum up for us. Like on our website, man, we were just like 10, 15 views, and now we're averaging like 150 to 200 a day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And I think that we do believe you guys are a big part of that. So my plug, first off, is Uncle Oz and regular Scott. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, man.
Appreciate that, man.
That's awesome.
Now let's get to the main event, the real deal here. I'm JVD from Villians Man. You can follow me at Villians Man on Twitter. My boy Evan, he's not here. It's Evan the Great. TVD at Twitter. We got some other guys like Hawk the Horrible, Richard Smiley Jr. You can follow those guys. Go find us on Facebook. And please subscribe to the Crossover Collision podcast if you go to our website at www.thevilliansman. You can find it there. We got some other podcasts. I write a fictional story for a character on there. You can go check that out if you like fantasy and whatnot. But seriously, the biggest plug on this episode of me goes to you guys.
Far too kind. Oz, what you got for the final blow?
Well, my final blow is 2 things. Number one, JVD, thank you for like gracing us by being on here. We're going to get both you guys on our show, and we'll have a real good throwdown.
Who's both?
And what's that?
Who's both of you guys?
We're going to get you and Evan on the show and then have a real big throwdown, okay?
Cool.
And so other thing is this, dude, my other little thing is final blow is, man, a final blow to regular Scott for like being on top of our Twitter, being on top of our podcast, just being on top of things, we heckle and we have a good time, but I have a good time because of this guy. And He makes it fun, and he brings diamonds. And man, JVD, you're a damn diamond. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's great.
What the hell going on? You giving out compliments?
Listen, this is a one time only, so enjoy. Okay.
What is going on? Now I'm all thrown off.
Well, maybe you should have me on here more often. Maybe I'm man.
What is going on? This guy is giving out compliments in the final blow.
Look, dude, I'm just trying to walk down a hill, man. Okay.
And we know what you're going to do. Right. You know what you're going to do when you get to the bottom of it. I can't believe we have a guest on, and that's when you decide you want to tell your sexy cow story.
Dude, I have a limited amount of jokes, okay? So I'm just saying, you know. Okay.
All right. My final blow, like it's been for every one of our shows so far, is going to be for the crossover collision. JVD and Evan, we've talked about it all episode. You got a little preview of it. Definitely go support those guys for season 2.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to the big tournament. If you haven't checked out their last tournament, definitely go check that out. Really good matchups. Just a lot of just random matchups that you would not expect. I will say I'm a little disappointed in how y'all do my boy Nightwing. I'm a little disappointed in that, but that's okay.
It makes you feel any better. Batman has never won a fight.
It does make me feel a little better.
JVD, the point is this. Again, tough love is still love. And Dick Grayson just needs to figure out what his place is in life, dude. That's all. It's fine.
He's had some bad matchups.
Hey, and just remember, man, tough love is still love and cow love is still love. So, that's talking on.
Hey, you might not be able to live this one down, Oz. You might not be able to live this one down.
Dude, just remember, don't run. Just walk.
Yeah, whatever, man. So definitely check them out. You'll learn a lot about guys like Shredder, Judge Dredd, the Street Fighter characters, just guys you didn't think of, and you'll realize how lethal they are. They put out a great show. JVD, again, thank you for being on. Thank you for the kind words. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we look forward to next time you're on this show, and we look forward to coming on yours and trying not to get embarrassed by you guys.
We will try very hard not to be.
Yeah, we'll try. No promises. Oz, tell everyone you'll talk to them next time.
As usual, good people, peace and chicken grease.
And y'all have a good time, because we're going to have a good time until we talk to y'all next time. Peace. I won't do it this week. No chicken.
What? Try and play me? Dude,
Peace.
Every single time, dude.